Hey you guys, it's Dani. We have yet again missed a single month of a wrap up, so we are going to moosh together July and August and get this thing started. Y'all, July and August have been probably the craziest yet. I feel like I say that every time we do a wrap up, like, where did the months go? Everything is insane. But like, it was really a lot. It was really a lot. So, okay. How about we just start with, oh my gosh. Can y'all hear the mower out? I don't know if you can hear the mower. Let me, like, he's right there. And the AC is on an incredibly high speed, cause hot. So let me see if I can get my mic and maybe that'll quiet down all the background noise. Oh, for real. Come on, baby. Hello. Okay, so hopefully this works. Okay, so let's kind of overview. How about I grab my planner, which I'm still using. Okay, so since I'm gonna open this so I can remember everything, let's talk about this. I finished up this one, which again, if you remember, I just cut the bottom of a traveler size notebook to fit into my Portland leather cover. And this one went up to July. It did all half a year. So I just kind of had stuff that was going on in August. I had my books here on the side. So I redid this, but for whatever reason, it was like the same, like, little pack. Y'all. It only went up to November. What the hell? I was complaining about that to Dustin and Lisa. Lisa Papez and Modern Metaphysique. For those of you who don't know, they'll be linked down below with the 3 fat readers, because, you know, they're my peeps. Anyway, I was complaining about that to them today because we were, of course, already talking about planner stuff for next year. It's an addiction, y'all. It's an addiction. So anyway, let me grab July. Let's see what happened in July. Okay, so I don't think I mentioned it last time, but my brother got married in July. Oh my God. I felt so old and so like, I know that's a weird thing to say, but me and my brother are 14 years apart almost. Like, we're like less than a month shy of 14 years apart. So like, to think he got married is like, I'm really getting old now. I'm really getting old. So he got married, which was awesome. I love my new sister-in-law. I might put a little picture somewhere. It was beautiful. It was so much fun. We had a great time. So he got married, and then I turned 37. So that was a pretty big thing. Oh my God. I don't even know where I was. I'm sorry. The interruptions that happen, maybe I'll put it in at the end for y'all. I can't make this shit up. Oh my God. Okay. So anyway, I turned 37, so that was nice. I think that was it for July. My brother got married. I turned 37. Oh, we had a baby shower for my brother-in-law's wife, so my other sister-in-law, for the new baby that's coming. That'll be my first niece. I'm so excited. Anyway, so we had her baby shower, so that was fun. I did a lot of stuff for that. What else? Oh my gosh. Then we got into August. Are y'all ready for August now? August flew by. I feel like there was so much stuff going on. Maybe that's just a lot of stuff, like, all at once, because we were just, like, helping everybody out. So, in August, Lennon had her meet and greet, so she started school again, which was really nice. It was a little bit different this year because of her age. They were starting to do all the masks, so there was, like, all this new kind of protocol that we had to deal with, which was fine. I got fully vaccinated, so that was great. Also, who's ready for this? I was not. My brother and sister-in-law announced that we are gonna have another baby in the family. So exciting! So, yeah, there's that. Also, in accordance with that, I have it back here. They came over the other night, and my brother shoved something over to me, and I was like, oh, what is this, So I grab it, and I open it up, and I got this. I'm going to read it to y'all, because I was so excited. It says, I need an extra pair of hands to help me learn and grow. I think that yours would be the best, because Mommy and Daddy told me so. And it was like a scratch here. Look. Oh, I'm so excited. So not only do I have another sweet baby to add to Tonti's crew, but I get to be the godmother. I'm saying him because that's what I think it is, but we'll see, I guess. I could be wrong, but I got that Tonti intuition. I'm hoping. I got my little girl with that little boy. But I'm so excited. I'm so excited, y'all. And I'm so happy for my brother. It happened so fast, but that's kind of what they were planning. So it wasn't like an incredible shock because we all knew that was kind of the plan. His wife is a little bit older than him. And so she was like, my time is ticking. I got plans, and they are making it happen. They are doing the damn thing. I'm really excited for them. So it's just been baby fever over here. I do not have this fever. I have Tonti fever. And that means that Tonti gets to love on them babies, and then them babies get to go home. And Lennon is super excited. So, yeah, it's just been all the things. And I think that's what made it seem like there was so much going on and everything was so fast, was because it was like weddings and showers and babies and just so many different things happening all at once. So it just felt just exciting. It was just exciting. And then to top that all off, at the very end of August, we had an incredibly scary hurricane coming our way, Ida. Y'all, we were worried. If you watch my little short, or if you follow me on Instagram or TikTok or anything, I posted myself, and you can still see it's so desolate in here right now, you guys. I am still bringing stuff back in the house, from the house, excuse me. I cleaned out my tarot stuff. I cleaned out all my papers because you never know. That storm was really, really scary, and it was coming straight for us, but we were so lucky that it scooted off to the side. Our poor friends, though, in the other spaces to the east, kind of getting towards Baton Rouge, Houma, Grand Isle, of course, New Orleans, into Mississippi, like, all of those people really got the brunt of this storm. And so we are sending all the love and care that we can. We are helping however we can. I will also I had some stories on my Instagram that kind of showed different places that you could help out people in New Orleans and the surrounding areas. I got those major ones from New Orleans. So please listen to the people that are living there and listen to what they're asking for. go towards local charities. If I have to say anything at all, if you are looking to give or help out in some kind of way, please go towards local things versus national. That way you're sure that the help is going to these people who really need. So yeah. Anyway, that is August in a nutshell. So it was just a lot. You know what I mean? Like life changes and baby showers and more babies coming and hurricanes coming. And, you know, I'm just going to say, we were a little worried when the hurricane was coming because my sister-in-law was skating the end of her pregnancy. And so we were all like eyes and ears waiting for things to go haywire in the chaos of the storm. But she managed to make it through, even with all that pressure. But on the 31st, that night, things started to go a little haywire. And we got our little niece born happy and healthy and beautiful on the 1st of September. So I'm really happy and I'm really excited about it. Yeah, she is already very, very loved. And so we welcome our sweet new little baby into this world. So, okay, we talked about a little bit of planning. I actually have done none of the journaling these past 2 months. Let me see the last time I did it. Oh, I did some in July. The 10th of July. And then it's radio silence. So, I did get a couple of days in to July, but it has been honestly out of sight, out of mind. I did go ahead and pick up, thank you to Dawn Michelle of Boho Tarot, and Boho Bloom. She did a little what's in my tote, and I bring stuff back and forth from my shop to the house almost every single day. Because I'm like, oh, I'm using a tarot deck. Then I'm like, oh, well, I want to play with it before I go to bed. I want to sit down, maybe do a spread or two, read for, Jacob, or let Lennon pull some cards. We like to do that every once in a while. So I'm constantly bringing stuff back and forth. Or if I have an art project that I'm doing, like right now I'm making grimoires and journals to put on my shop, which we'll do their own special video on. So, like, I'm dyeing papers, and I'm moving stuff back and forth, and with the hurricane, again, desolate in here, everything's over there. So, I'm constantly bringing stuff back and forth. So, I have a handy-dandy tote. And so, now I have this in my tote, so I can start writing again in my journal in September, since August was gone. So we have that in there now. Other than that, I mean, I have been working in my grimoire. Again, I'm going to do its own special video. That way you can see my new grimoire up close, and you can get an idea for the types of grimoires and journals that I'm making for my shop, because I'm having so much fun, y'all. It's like such a big creative outlet for me. Because I love collaging and I love doing stuff like that. And I normally do it, I'm knocking everything down, for myself in my notebooks and my journals and my tarot journals and stuff like that. But I've been putting all that creative energy into making these new books and doing bindings and stuff. So I'm having a blast. So I'm going to do those until I feel like I'm done. And so those will be here, there, and everywhere. So that's kind of all the journaling that I've been doing as far as that goes. I've been using my planner. I'm still loving it. And I think that's why I've been looking at the Weeks style planner for next year, maybe, instead of having to cut these. Now, it won't fit in my little jacket, but I don't think I will need a jacket for it. We'll have to see. We'll see how that goes. I'm still toying with those ideas. But I always keep my scratch notebook with it and with me, so I mean, I'm still going to utilize this if I do decide to change. If not, I'll just make another one come November, obviously, since that one is kaputs in November. What do we want to talk about next? Let's see what I have in my box. Okay, so we have decks and stuff, but how about, before we get to the decks, because I think that's probably all we have left. I don't have much this time. Let's go ahead and talk about the books first. I need what fell, of course. This chair makes an incredible amount of noise. I need a new chair. I'm going to put that on my list. Okay. What we have in July. So in July, did I read... I don't think I read a book in July. Like a physical book in July. I think I was reading it. I started reading it. I started reading a book in July, but I didn't finish it. I did it in August. So I don't have a physical book to show you or to talk about in July. But I do have 2 audiobooks that I listened to. One was called The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein. This is by Kirsten White. Y'all, I don't know really what I was going into. It like popped up on my You Might Like of my Libby app for my library. And so I was like, oh, I like, these kind of tales that kind of spin off on the tales that we're used to. So in this story, we sort of follow Elizabeth Frankenstein, who had a very interesting kind of origin story of how she met Victor. And then who she kind of made herself to be, the relationship with Victor, when he started to kind of dabble in things that were kind of making her a little nervous. But it's like you see a glimpse of him as a child and this woman who sort of grew up with him to like be with him. It was a very interesting story. If you're a fan of Frankenstein, I would definitely recommend it. I would give this probably a 4 out of 5 because I enjoyed her. Like, there were some parts and some of her characteristics that I feel were flawed, but that's what made her such a good character, because you were like, oh, come on, God, duh. But, like, it was told in a way that it's like, how do I describe it? This story is sort of told as if you were looking at what was going on through a glass. And it's like, the way that it's told, it's like, you could almost imagine kind of looking through one of those, like, Victorian style, ornate, almost like mirrors, and, like, looking through and kind of peering into this world. That's the best way I can describe it. It kind of goes through, like I said, them meeting as children. She became the ward of the Frankenstein family. There were some sketchy origins of her family, and then kind of growing up and like how he turned into what he did and kind of how she manipulated things or tried to fit in to his style. And like, I don't want to give it away. Like, I feel like I would give it away if I got too deep into what the meat and bones of her story are, because it really is about her and her side, what she saw. So it's like getting that other person's view of this story. So I just thought it was incredibly interesting, and I love that it was told from the female point of view. For such a famous story. I love Frankenstein stories. As funny as it is, I'm not really a big, like, Frankenstein movie person. Like, the big, like, that's not my thing. But I love, oh my god, the one that came out, who is it? Daniel Radcliffe plays Igor, if I'm not mistaken. Who plays Victor in that? I believe it's either called Victor Frankenstein or Victor or whatever it is. But anyway, that was a really good movie. I loved it. I loved it. It almost had a Sherlock Holmes feel, if that makes any sense. Like, it just gave me those vibes for whatever reason. But I love shows like that really explore the person versus the monster. So anyway, that's why I love this one so much. So 4 out of 5 stars. Yes. Okay. I also finished listening to The Subtle Knife, which is the second of the Golden Compass, His Dark Materials trilogy from Philip Pullman. The Subtle Knife, really good. Really enjoyed it. I'm listening to the third one right now. So that's been really good. Still giving those, I mean, I really enjoy them. They're not riveting to me like I kind of hope they would be. You know, like I'm always looking for that, like, trilogy or, you know, kind of series that really, like, gets me. You know what I mean? This is definitely a good one. It's not, like, top shelf, though. So I would definitely give it probably about a 3 out of 5. I don't remember what I gave the Compass, but the Golden Compass, but it's pretty good. I just feel like at this point, I'm not, like, dying to know what's happening. I'm just like, okay, well, I want to finish this trilogy, so I think that's why I'm kind of leaving those at, like, a 3. August. Let's talk about the book that I physically read. I ruined it for myself, number one. I really did. I ruined it for myself. So, here's the dealio. I had been hearing this book on the top of everyone's horror list. They were like, oh my god, it's like the most gruesome. It is like unnerving. I couldn't finish it in one sitting. I had to put it down. It felt all kind of things. So I'm like, holy crap. What is this book? I have to read it now. Like, these are the kind of horror stories that I live for. But the problem is, I listened and I heard all this hype. So my brain was in like, it's gonna be mind-blowing. I wish I would have never heard that. Because when I started reading it, what I was anticipating was not the story. So what am I talking about? I am talking about Tender is the Flesh. This is by Augusta Basterica. I believe that I'm saying that right. Basterica. So Tender is the Flesh. Everyone has been talking about it. It is horrifying XYZ. The problem is, I think I was expecting from all of these stories and all of these reviews that people are talking about, it doesn't match up with your narrator of the story, okay? So, little synopsis, because if you want to read this book, read it. I'm like 4 out of 5. I loved it in so many ways, but I don't give it a 5 out of 5 because I went in expecting something else. But here's what it is, okay? So, if you've heard about Tender is the Flesh, you might know that the kind of gist of the story and why everybody says it's like the most horrific. So, basic rundown, shit goes down with the animals. Maybe? There's a little hint of conspiracy through it when it comes to what really happened to get everybody there. But this is a dystopian society where the animals have been killed off because they held this disease. The meat was tainted. They were tainted. They could give it to humans. So no animals. Okay? Especially not for food. No pets. No nothing. Okay? Apparently there are still some wild animals that may be still around. People are still scared of birds. Because I'm like, the logical part of me, I'm like, well, that's not possible. Because if they killed off all the animals, then the world just couldn't work that way. And it's fiction. Okay. So no animals, right? So they began to slowly introduce people as food. So the idea of Tinder is the Flesh is about this dystopian society where there is a class of people who are bred and slaughtered for food. Horrific in itself, right? But the thing is, and this is one of those things where I'm like, am I broken? Is that what's wrong? Am I broken? But I don't think that's what it is. Because it is told from the very matter-of-fact point of view, really. You know, you go along with a man who runs and works in this slaughterhouse. So there is a desensitized kind of narrator that goes through this, okay? So when you are told about what's going on in the slaughterhouses and you're taken through what's happening, you don't feel it from the terrifying point of view of those people within the breeding program. That, my friends, would have been terrifying. It could have built up this suspension, this terror, but that's not where you are. And I think that's what I went in thinking that that's where I was going to be. And so it ruined the story for me in that way, because I was waiting to have that adrenaline rush and terror of what was happening. But we were seeing it happen versus being first person having it happen, right? So you go through this and, you know, you go through this guy's day, you go through his life. There are some things that kind of go on, but I will, because I don't want to say really much else aside from that, because the story itself is important to get through. So if you want to read it, his story is very important to like go bit by bit to see how and why it ends the way it does. I will say though, the ending, I was like, oh shit, okay. Like, but that was the only time where I really felt that way, you know? Like, it really, like, got to me was the very end. And, like, throughout the whole thing, like, it was just this very, don't get me wrong, it's incredibly disturbing. Obviously, it's a slaughterhouse for humans. It was very disturbing in that way because it was very nonchalant. It was very matter of fact. It was very everyday, right? So there is that factor where it's just like, ugh. But it's nothing. If you're into true crime, these things that happen to these people in the slaughterhouses is nothing you haven't heard before, right? People do horrific things to people now. I know I'm getting off on a tangent with this book, but honestly, release your expectation when you go into it. I feel like I had this expectation that I was going to be in the terror versus watching it. So if you decide to read this book, just know that you are going to be a witness and you are not going to be within it. And I think that would make this book even better. And I think that that would bring it up to a 5. But the thing is I listened to a bunch of other reviewers and it ruined it for me. Because I'm always on the hunt, like, the top 5 best horror, you know? Yeah, that's me. So, like, it was really good, but I ruined it for myself in that aspect. Because, like, I just sat there waiting. I was like, yeah. Again, there were times where I got through, like, half the book. I read it in no time, by the way. It was a really easy read. At least for me, because I was gobbling it up, right? And, like, there were times where, like, I stopped in the middle and I looked at Jacob and I'm like, maybe I'm broken. I'm like, I feel like I should be in horror, like, just horror struck and, you know, gasping for air like these other people said, and I'm just not, you know? But again, I was waiting for that moment, and that was not what it was. So, it was a really good book. Just don't go in expecting the hoopla. Just go in with an open mind. Regardless, it was a good book. Okay, The last one that I listened to in August, so I read one and listened to one in August, that was The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. This was a pretty good thriller. I had saw it on, again, one of those, like, I don't know, like Workers Picks or whatever, you know, the top 5 good books in horror or thrillers and stuff like that. This was really good. This was about this group of Native American men who, when they were younger, they went and hunted for elk on the elders' property where they weren't supposed to be. They killed and slaughtered these elk, and there was this one who, I'll just say, was a little more special than the others. And it goes through their lives, and about 10 years later, this event that they put into motion comes back to haunt them, most literally. It was such an interesting story. I loved how it was told, because you see people who grew up on the reservation and then left, and you have this other one that was very ostracized for that, and you know, people that have stayed, you have an alcoholic, you have, you know, all these different relationships and their relationships to each other and how they're trying to pass on some traditions, and just kind of the horror that kind of that they put into motion back when they were younger by not respecting what they were doing. So that was a really good one. I would definitely put that one, I would say about a 3 out of 5. Wasn't spectacular, but it was really good. It kept my attention. Would read again, so definitely would recommend. So those are the books that I read in July and August. I did have another one, To Shield the Queen. This was an Ursula Blanchard mystery. I didn't finish it though. Like, it was good. I wish I could remember who it was by. I'll put it up somewhere. It was about Ursula Blanchard kind of goes through a couple of other books. But this whole thing kind of starts off with Queen Elizabeth and Robert Dudley have her go and stay with Amy Dudley and kind of see what's going on and kind of quell the rumors going on that Robert Dudley was trying to kill his wife, this, that, and the other. And then, of course, she dies at the bottom of the stairs at a very interesting circumstances. But then there's another mystery within the mystery of that. It just didn't hold me like I wanted to. Like, to the point where, like, it was due and I was like, I'm not going to finish reading this right now. Like, I'm just not. It just didn't hold me enough. Like, it was interesting, but not compelling, I guess you would say. So, I didn't finish that one. That was one that I was physically reading. And like I said, like, I would pick it up and I would read chunks of it at a time, but it wasn't compelling enough to keep me reading. But it wasn't bad. Like, it wasn't bad. It just wasn't what I was after right now. I mean, obviously, everything else has been really, like, horror-filled. So, there's that. So, anyway, I have picked up a book that a good friend sent to me. And so I'm reading that right now. So we will talk about those in September. Or maybe a September-October mashup. Who knows at this point? Anyway, let's go ahead and spring into our last section, which is decks. Let us grab the bag. So, okay, there's one that I couldn't get. Now listen. I have tried to dig through this thing. Look at this. I'm on the floor. I got stuff out, spread, trying to find this. These are our shoes. Welcome to our home. I can't find the deck that I'm looking for. I was supposed to have the Wildwood Tarot. It is in here somewhere, so I don't have it to show you. Just know that I tried. Okay. Charlie knows I tried. Right, Charles? Johnny? He thinks I'm crazy. He might be right. Do you want to see where the cat is?
There's Sam. Hi, Sam. He said, girl, I ain't about it. I'm sleeping. He was one of the little kittens that we had. He's getting to be a big boy. Yes. Him so beautiful. He's so beautiful. Yes. He's a good boy. Pretty Sam. He's like, leave me alone, human.
So, the Wildwood Tarot I don't have to show you. But I have started using that one. And I wanted to use it more this month, so it looks like I'm really going to have to dig in there as soon as we get this going and do the damn thing. Anyway, I have a lot of Oracle this month. I used quite a bit of Oracle. And I say that there's like really 3 in theory. So let's start. I'm trying to get all this stuff out of my bag. Let's start, okay, with this. I have 2 of them right now, but I use the Oracle of Oddities this month. I used it with, Mystic Masters and Pear Tree Court I always use. Like, those are always in here somewhere. But I used the Oracle of Oddities quite a bit this month. I had a lot of fun using it next to Mystic Masters, but also I used it beside this bad boy, which is Medieval Europe Tarot. It's in my Peggy bag. This Peggy bag fits it perfectly. Look how chunky this is. It fits perfectly into my Peggy bag. So, yes. But this is such a chunky monkey, y'all. I love this deck so much. This is the Medieval Tarot, the Medieval Europe Tarot. It's got this little zodiac wheel on the back, all these crazy things. It's got that matte gold. Forever in love. My lighting is just like, you can't show decks here. We got all our weird animals. Beheadings. And just all around interesting cats. There's another cat, you guys. Planets in here. Anyway, wait. Look at him. Can't beat it. Okay, so I found out Dustin of Modern Metaphysicae, of course, sent me this cat tarot, and it's like all the weird cats. Y'all know it went directly on my list. I will get it. Look at those weird animals. God. I just love this deck. It is so substantial. But anyway, it went really well with this. Like, it kind of felt a little macabre. Obviously, it's not the same kind of artwork. But for some reason, it just kind of felt right. It just kind of meshed together, which I was like, okay, we're going to do that. We're definitely going to do that. I also used with it the Seed and the Sickle. So I just did this review on here. A matter of fact, 2 of them that I did reviews for Liminal 11, the previews, I used the crap out of these past 2 months. The Seed and Sickle, y'all. Citrus. Oh. So beautiful. Again, I use this beside just about everything, honestly. I used it beside Mystic Masters, of course. I used it beside the Medieval Tarot. I used it with the Wildwood, because I forget I have that. I also used the Oracle of Oddities next to that. I really liked these oracles that I chose because I felt like they were really versatile and they kind of went with everything, which I really liked. Just like the Oracle of Oddities, I also used with one of my other tarots that I used in July, which was the Dame Darcy Mermaid Tarot. Because I got in a big conversation with a few of my friends, okay, what goes with this? And so I got a few suggestions, so that's why I had gotten the vintage Wisdom Oracle, but as funny as it is, I didn't even use it with it because I was using Seed and Sickle beside it, as well as a few others. So we have these crazy watery vibes for July. I loved it. That was like my main plan. Like, I bought it and put it in my cabinet specifically to wait till July. I just love the vibe of this deck. It's just so, I don't know, it's just so fun. But like, I want to use it in July, in the summer, going into August. Oh, so much fun. So I really did enjoy this deck. Like, and it's pretty substantial. I thought I was going to have trouble riffle shuffling, but like, it moves really, really well. I'm not going to be able to do this like on myself. I was going to try, but it's not going to happen. Anyway, it actually shuffles really well, and I really did enjoy this tarot. I'm not close enough to show y'all both at the same time, if you're wondering why I'm not showing them together. I'm far enough away from my table to make it really awkward. So, another two that I used together that I was very surprised was the Mystical Medleys and my Bestiary and Herbiary deck. I put them both together. That's the Herbiary and Bestiary. I believe, is it Maya Toll? I think that's it. I can't see my book from here. I think that's her name. Anyway, correct me if I'm wrong. I'll have it linked down below, as with all the other stuff that I normally link. But I put all of these together. They do have different backs, but that's okay. I really didn't care. I still wanted them together, you know, because we have the herbs and the animals. Ugh, look at this common tortoise. How gorgeous is that? So beautiful. Ugh, with the moon. Anyway, as crazy as it is, the reason I picked that one up was to go with Mystical Medleys, because I was like, what am I going to pair this with? I have nothing like this, really. The ones that I have that are sort of like it are more Halloween-ish. They're more like Halloween themed. Those are my more playful decks. That's where they tend to be. So I was like, what am I going to pair with this, you guys? And honestly, it doesn't seem like it, but they really do go well together. You know, would I do a huge spread with like all of that? No. I keep looking in the wrong spot. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it's distracting. I'm distracting myself. But would I put like a whole bunch out? No, because I think it would get a little overwhelming for me, because I don't normally use decks with like hella color, right? Like something that dramatic with so much going on. I think it would be a little bit of a lot. However, 1 for 1, 3 for 3, you know, whatever little combination, this really did work with this deck. Like, the colors somehow are very similar. Like, you can see, just like, it's not the same style in any way, shape, or form. Do you see how awkward this is? I'm trying. But, like, they just kind of go together. Like, the Knight of Cups with the sea turtle, find your element. Yes. Like, they really just flowed. They were just a fun combination. Let's see what we have here again. Do you see? 8 of Pentacles, and tap your resources with Burdock. They just really flowed very well. Like, but I find that these flow with the tarot always. Like, whatever I've paired them with, I've really enjoyed. And I mean, they're like flimsy little pop out the back of the book cards, but I really do love their message, and I really do love what they have to bring. And the books are gorgeous. So, yeah. I don't always use them with the book, but man, every time I pull the book out with it, there's always so much to it. Journaling prompts and all kinds of stuff. So if y'all don't have that, I would definitely check it out. They're really inexpensive too. So, yes. So I really utilized my preview copies this month. these past 2 months. I used the mystical medleys in July, and then the seed and sickle through August. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed using both of those. And like I said, the Wildwood Tarot, I always, like, when I crave fall, I start to bring those out. Wildwood, Druidcraft, Earthbound. Like, I start to pull those, and I start, like, getting those vibes coming in. Like, it's September, Mabon is coming, this is my time. Like, I've been that girl the past few weeks, like, where I will legit put on a long sleeve or like a sweater and just be like, I'm not going outside today, and I'm gonna drink some sort of spiced coffee. Why? Because I want fall to be here, and so if it's not gonna do it, I'm gonna make it happen. Like, legit me. Like, I had on one of my sweaters the other day, and my little girl walks in, and she's like, are you wearing a long sleeve? It's so hot. I'm like, I'm not going outside today, says me. If I do go outside, I'm going to go out and then go back in because I want fall today. Did I end up changing midway through the day? Yes. But the point was, at that time, I stayed inside and I was fall. I held it close. I just want it here. You know what I mean? And we don't get it enough in this climate as it is. Like, who's gonna take me elsewhere so I can really enjoy it? But anyway, so that's been July and August. A lot and not a lot at the same time. Just me, I guess. A lot and not a lot all at once. That's just how it is here. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this ball of chaos with me. And yeah, we will talk real soon. We'll see what September, or maybe September and November, have to offer. And hopefully I'll get some more fall weather, and we'll stay hurricane free, and I can get everything back in order. Jacob and I are going to be working on that, working on our tarot cabinet. We're going to have some new deck walkthroughs coming out. I'm going to have my journal video and all kinds of other goodies. We're going to do some more bonding with our decks, and the Mystic Masters Miners are coming. How do you say that fast? Mystic Master Miners. That's a lot. Anyway, we will talk very soon. I'm sending you all my love. Mwah! Later, Gators. Good? I'm recording, but I can pause. Like,
Alright, no, I got it.
everything is good?
Yeah.
Run's good? No flat?
Well, we almost had a problem. Dad said, what's the tar say? I said, the tar says 51. He says, fill it up to 51. I filled it up to 51.
That's really low.
I know. When your car calibrated, everything's at 32.
Yeah.
It was 20 pounds over.
Jacob, what the fuck? It's always around 30
So I had to
something.
stop in the middle of the road because I panicked, and I got out and I let the air out. So I was like, it's driving so good. I was like,
Your daddy should have known better than that.
well, I should have checked inside the door. But you're good.
Y'all are gonna kill me.